Hello, people of New World. It's me, Lamani, and welcome back to the channel. And today we clearly have some news because I'm making a news video. We have Season 2 announced, Blood of the Sands coming, and there's some very interesting things along with that, both good and some bad that I want to talk about in some other videos. But I'm here to tell you that 1, it's announced, 2, there's a PTR coming pretty soon, and 3, here's everything you need to know without watching the dev video. So let's dive into it. So first of all, Season 2, Blood of the Sands, what is it? Well, it's going to revolve around worm eggs, the 2 new raids coming, and First Light, believe it or not, as well as some transmog things. So diving into this, we're looking at the whole new season story. With that story, it's going to be taking place in First Light and Brimstone Sands. It's called Blood of the Sands because it's this group working on these worm eggs, all right? Here's the deal. First Light, it's going to get taken over. I don't know what that means as far as wars go and things like that, but anybody that has a house there, you're going to be refunded for it. So it's kind of sounding like you literally will not be able to use the zone. So GG, get wrecked if that's what you chose to use as your main base or if your company owns that. I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but sounds like less wars going on. Next, so that's the whole back story of the season pass, all right? There's people wanting worm eggs, and that's what the trials and the quests are going to revolve around, and then First Light is taken over. Transmogs, these are going to get a little interesting. I think, I want to talk about this in a separate video, but transmogs are going to be based off of a token system from the free and the premium pass. That doesn't sound very good to me, but you're going to be able to earn these tokens in Season 2, but the transmog system itself will not come out until the next off cycle, so it's not until Season 2 has already released, so it's a little bit later. They haven't dove into this too greatly, but I would really think there needs to be some changes with this because it's sounding like a little bit of a paid system. Now, we have 2 trials that are going to be coming. We have an elite trial and a seasonal trial. I'm going to start off with the seasonal trial. So the seasonal trial is a 10-player raid, and it is a weekly activity, but you can get the maximum amount of rewards 7 times in a week and then receive smaller rewards for subsequent runs. So there might be some way to take advantage of this, but this is sounding like you can do the 10-player raid 7 times in a week. I mean, that could be a good or a bad thing, but again, it's at least content, especially for the PvE community. Then we have our 20-player raid, which is the elite trial. It's the sandworm, and you should be only able to do this once a week, but it doesn't specify here. And I would just like to say, please refer to my video where I talk about getting Beast Ward gear for the sandworm, because guess what? He's freaking Beast and not Angry Earth like everybody in the comments section told me he was. So get wrecked again. Anyway, we also, with that, have raid groups. You now can create a group up to 20 players. Good for chest runs, open world PvP. Who knows? Maybe we'll be even able to like simulate 20v20 duels. I don't know, but still 20-player groups are great for open world farming, great for raids, great for PvP, and just a nice little thing to add. As far as all of that goes, the only other thing relevant to PvE and that sort of idea is the seasonal events and then season pass that isn't actually covered in here. Let's just talk about the seasonal events first. We have the Summer Medley Fair again, great for patterns. We'll be able to do some of that, some music-related things, and again, cosmetics. But then the new event they're going to be adding is called Siege of Sulfur, and this is going to be up to 10 players in a group. You will defend a cart from elementals, sulfur elementals, who have sandworm eggs, spelled with a W-U-R-M, okay? Don't know if that's intentional or not. But anyway, you'll be getting cosmetics, extra loot, everything like that. And the more waves you defend against, Leo's excited too, but the more waves you defend against, the more better rewards you will get. So that's as far as seasonal events go. I'm just going to scroll back up here. I want to talk about Season Pass though. It's not directly mentioned in here, but if you go into the dev update, we have a couple things. So one with the Season Pass, it is sounding like the exact same kind of system. They're still using the bingo card. They're still using the season journey. It's sounding very, very, very similar. What they did say is that they want the season rewards and the things that are on there, they want you to be able to optimize your time doing the activities on the card so that it's not necessarily the time investment isn't actually worth. They want it to feel less grindy and a little bit more just in general in line with your regular gameplay. But for the most part, it sounds like it's the same card. They've even said, yeah, we're going to be looking at pretty much the same stamps. They're going to be adding in new stamps to test before Season 2 comes out into the Season 1 live game. So for me, when I'm looking at it, it kind of just sounds like we're going to level it up in the exact same way unless they start adjusting XP amounts. And I think this could get a little bit dicey, but they're just wanting to make it more of your natural playstyle, and they're going to be adding more journey tasks. So honestly, that's probably going to be better for speed leveling and give you more XP. But within each chapter, right now we have 10 per chapter. They said it's going to be more. Take that for what it is. I don't necessarily love that idea, but who knows? Hopefully it's a good little change here. One other thing I wanted to talk about really quick is the new HEARTRUNE ability. It's called the Devourer. You are going to summon a sandworm from the ground and damage anything in its path. One, that just sounds absolutely busted to me. Who knows what that's going to mean in PvP? We don't have a ton of info on it yet, but I'm getting ready to test it because who knows? Probably everybody's going to be spamming it. They did mention, though, with HEARTRUNEs, as far as next season goes, they want to be releasing a HEARTRUNE every season, but they did say that seems like it might be a lot and it's taking away from the general idea of HEARTRUNEs are very special and powerful and we want to make sure we're focusing on them. And so they may be scaling that back a bit. It could be interesting, but we shall see. I personally am one who would vote for more HEARTRUNEs all the time because it just promotes more gameplay options. Anyway, let's dive into the PvP. We have Cross-World Outpost Rush. That's coming, and along with that, we now have a regional leaderboard that will be put out. It's not going to be server-based. You will have a regional leaderboard so that you can see how other people are doing. But I don't think that means you'll be able to group with anybody within the same region. I just think it means you'll be able to get into games with anybody who's out there. So you'll still queue up with the same people on your server, and maybe you can queue up at the same time as people on other servers and get some games in there. Other adjustments to Outpost Rush? No, we are not optimizing the environment, and it's not going to be anything to be anti-fire staff bow and that sort of thing. We are going to be making it so you get more points for capping, like back cappers. This is going to be for you doing PvE things. They're going to optimize Baroness a little bit more so that it's more of a strategic fight, and then they're making doors more powerful. Right now, you can sit there and build over and over and over and over again and hold an entire team out, but they're going to make it so that they have a little bit more resistance now. So lucky for all of us. The other things we're looking for in PvP changes, it's the reward track, which is not exactly on here. It's on my notepad. We also are going to talk about arenas. But for the PvP track, they're going to make the rewards better. They're going to make it more worthwhile, more times where you're going to see better rewards popping up. So be aware that this could be another option for getting BIS. And the last PvP change is the new 3v3 arena map, because I know all of us love 3v3. It's a gladiator style arena, 2 tiers. You can run around. Looks like there's some jumping you could do if you wanted to, but it could be pretty interesting as far as playing line of sight and maybe a little bit more strategic. The other thing now, I want to go back to the first light retraction because we have some more info on it. We are not going to be able to use it, but all housing items will be returned to your storage, and it's going to be under old first light. Anything in your storage shed, all trading posts, they're going to expire, but no new orders are going to be able to be made from there. You will not be able to control the territory, which means less war, and you'll be refunded if your company owns that. And then the faction control point buff has been moved to Weaver's Fen. So now your 10% that you get on your daily crafting that everybody's fighting for is going to be in Weaver's Fen. They have big plans for the territory, and so we shall see what happens with it from there. That is pretty much everything as far as this goes. The one last thing that they wanted to mention, we do actually have a PTR opening announcement first. It's going to be open on May 25th at 10 a.m. PST. I didn't actually see that until now, so we're talking about it. So we actually have a PTR release time. We'll see if that gets pushed off, but we do have the raids in there, so we'll be able to test the elite trial. That could be very interesting. Next thing, though, we had a little bit of a discussion on Lord of the Rings, and they said, yes, we know that our group is taking on a second project, but that means nothing for New World, no foot off the gas, and they are going to keep pushing. So that's everything you need to know from the dev update. I appreciate it. I hope this helps you, and I hope that you are excited for what's to come. So as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and thank you to every single one of you beautiful people for being you. Be ready. I'll have Icy Veins guides coming out onto the site for all of the raids, and I will make sure that everybody is notified. But as always, thank you. Peace.